Anybody online?
They're all.
Good morning, Richland County. It is 9:30 a.m. Tuesday, March 10th. Richland County Board of Commissioners is now in session. I'm County Commissioner Cliff Mears, joined by fellow commissioners Tony Vero, Darrell Banks, our senior clerk, Stacy Kroll. We have from the juvenile court, Chad Ginnade, if I'm pronouncing that right. Rachel Troyer from Central Services, our county administrator, Andrew Keller. And in the back row, we have Josh and Tammy from Ohio Edison have joined us. One of our favorite township trustees from Madison, Dan Fletcher, and our
He's our third favorite, isn't he?
third favorite,
Third favorite, Madison. Top three.
Well,
Like the school director too, so he's fourth, really.
he likes it. And Mansfield Mayor Jody Perry have joined us today, along with Greg Kale and Carl Hunnell from the media. And with that, I'll turn it over to Chad for the first order of business on our agenda to discuss quotes for the courtroom audio and transcription equipment.
Yes, so this upgrade that we're bringing to you today is basically it improves the courtroom audio. Ensures both in-person and Zoom hearings are clearly recorded in our main courtroom, courtroom 1, and in our second courtroom, courtroom 2. For what you see right there, what the total is, it is underneath the budget that you guys requested in the beginning. So basically what the upgrades are going to be, it's basically we're upgrading the audio, the recording. The quotes are based off of the installation. We've worked with this company in the past, BIS. We've also had a different quotes from a different company. So we wanted to look out there to see what else was available. And pretty much BIS, since we worked with them in the past, and their quote came lower than the JABS, Justice AV Solutions, that we also looked into.
Always raises a flag to me when I see AI. So do you have any definition or clarity on what the AI speech processing means?
Yeah, so this will help our this is going to help our transcripts. So right now, we actually was looking into it. Lawrence County is using this system, and it helps break down the transcripts by 50%. For example, one individual that we had that was typing all of this up took him about 32 days to type up one trial. So this will bring it down to 50%. It still has to be verified. It still has to, everyone still has to read through it. And they have to sign off on it that everything is what was said. So it helps out with that.
Questions from my fellow commissioners?
And is there any annual licensing fees with these? One thing we know is we upgrade technology, there always comes the hidden costs of licensing fees.
So there is some licensing fees that we can decline at the end of the year. So, you know, there is a couple of them that are in here, especially with the transcript. That is something that you have to, it's almost like a prepaid phone that you buy so many hours, you get that. And then if you want more hours, if it's working out, then you buy more hours for that, just like a prepaid phone. So there is a transcript assistant fee, but that is only, it is an annual fee, but that is only, it's really just to keep it updated. So we can basically, when I talked to them, what they said was you don't have to do this annually. You can do this every 3 or 4 years, and it just updates the system. So you have one system that we purchase right away. You know, as technology upgrades and improves, you can pay that fee to be able.
Well, they say it's end of life, and then you either have to pay for a new version or upgrade it, right?
That's, so you get to choose what year you want to upgrade it, what year you don't want to upgrade it. So that's how it is for that AI. But yes, with the technology, there's always going to be something like that. We don't have to use it every year. They say most courts use it about every 2 to 3 years.
Is that what's identified here as the annual on-site support?
Yes. What quote are you looking at?
I'm looking at courtroom 1, very first one, $3,657.
So that is something also, that is something different. That is according to my understanding, that is an annual fee that at the end of the year, we can just deny it and we don't need it anymore.
Okay.
So there's nothing permanent that will be an annual fee to my understanding.
You know what the cost is of this thing we may only have to do every 2 or 3 years?
Yes, so it is on the courtroom 2, for the Richland County for the installation. Courtroom 1 and courtroom 2. These are, it's called the real-time transcription software. That's included with the reinstatement fee and that you have down there. So the SAS reinstatement fee is the one-time figure. So courtroom 2 would be $815. For courtroom 1 would be $978 per year if you wanted to do that upgrade.
I have to make one comment. Discount they gave us of $59 on a $34,000 invoice amounts to 0.17%.
Well, this was about their third or fourth quote that they sent to us
Yeah.
after I denied the first. So,
So we got a bigger discount then after the third try?
yes.
What
Up to $59.
was it they started with?
I don't remember the original one. But I told them what my budget was and what we wanted to include it within that budget, and they made it happen with this.
Don't you've told them it was 20,000?
I actually told them it was lower than what they sent to me, but this worked out.
Motion to approve out of capital.
Second.
Commissioner Mears?
Yes.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow?
Yes.
You gentlemen want to ask questions now about this?
But you just want a dollar amount.
Oh, the total for both courtrooms is $60,540.57.
That was with that discount.
That's what the discount. Yeah. Anything, Greg? Any questions?
Do you have any idea how many like hours worth of testimony you guys record, and is this is audio recordings as well as transcripts?
Yes, so we can pick and choose what recordings we want to use for transcripts, so we don't have to use all of them. But it does upload all of the recordings that we're having some issues with, especially with Zoom and getting proper recording for the Zoom that we have, which we have a lot of. Well,
Thanks, Chad.
so much. Thank you very much.
Moving on to our next agenda items, could I have a motion to certify the record of proceedings from March 5th?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Mears?
Yes.
Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow?
Yes.
Could I have a motion to approve requisition?
So moved.
Move. Second.
Commissioner Mears?
Yes.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow?
Yes.
Next on the agenda is to approve a wellness contract with HealthWorks, and we have Rachel Troyer from Central Services that's going to explain what this is all about.
Good morning, commissioners. We have in the past had HealthWorks that came on site for biometric screening, so our blood work for employees that are on the insurance, employees and spouses that participated in the insurance. And when our insurance subco that we're with decided to contract with Anthem, we decided that we really like the on-site biometric screenings. It's very convenient for the employees. And we contracted with HealthWorks last year. And that's what this is just another year of a contract for this screening. The total cost is $11,637 with $11,252 being billed to Anthem. That is just an estimate. It depends on how many people, of course, participate.
When you say billed to Anthem, that just means all the individuals' billings, correct?
Correct, yes. So as an employee, I will see an explanation of benefits to HealthWorks for my blood work.
Cover everything but the mileage.
Everything but the mileage. Yes, we do have to guarantee that there will be 25 participants.
And how we doing on that? Cause I'm in a building that wasn't at 25. Did we get more sign up yesterday?
Yes, we have gotten, I am watching it very closely. So the courthouse, we
Yeah.
are filled completely. So there's only one that I'm kind of worried about. I want to get a hold of people and
Okay.
I'm gonna make some calls and say, hey, can you shake your employees up a little bit and say, because this is a great.
It's a great thing.
It really is. And especially for those employees that do not meet the requirements that Anthem allows. So those under 40 years old or those people who are not diabetics, we still require those employees for our low deductible to complete the wellness program, but that is 2 requirements, is having your cholesterol completed and having your A1C completed. Well, again, how do they prove that they had it completed? But if they go to this on-site, screening, I actually receive a report and it's literally just the person's name and that they attended. Well, I know then that they had their blood work done. So there's never a question, okay, did they complete the wellness program? Did they not? It's so simple. And yeah, so I'm really encouraging our employees to participate.
Andrew, did you have any comment?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
Next agenda item is to announce the following of annexation to the city of Mansfield of 110.757 acres. Addison and 1.781 from Mifflin Townships. So this is a big deal for us. We've got a major project coming up on stream announced yesterday. Here, Perry. Would you like to? Coming up here, say that at Buc-ee's Travel Centers, coming to Mansfield, Richland County area. Very excited about that.
Yes.
One in Texas. I can't find my mug. I know I've got a mug from some that I got somewhere, but it's quite an experience. I remember when my son was living in Texas and he said, one of the first things we got to do is we got to go to Buc-ee's. It's so cool. It's really quite an experience.
An experience is a good description for it. I before I had gone to one, I didn't quite get it. And then we had a chance to go see one and it all made a little bit more sense after that. But it's definitely, it's a destination in and of itself. So, when we shared this with Lee Tassif, he was very excited. It's going to be something that brings literally millions of visitors to Richland County. So obviously we want them to stay, spend a night, do some of the other tourist visitor things that we have here. But, the biggest thing is really the impact it's going to have economically. So just from a providing high-paying jobs. They're not typical low-wage jobs. If you visit a Buc-ee's, they have their wages right open when you walk in the door. They're on all the gas pumps even and everything. So from that piece, it's going to be huge. Obviously, a lot of sales tax generated from it. And I was talking with Trustee Fletcher in the way with the type 2 annexation, they get to keep their property taxes. So it's really one of those opportunities that come along all too rarely, where it really is a win for everyone at the table.
Yeah, additional revenue for all of us. No downside, right?
Game changing. It's game changing.
Game changing.
I'm excited. It's actually the site's just down the road from my house about a mile. So
And you like brisket, right?
I've heard so many things. I was watching some of the Facebook comments that on Jody's post about it, and that there was over 400 this morning, and then every one of them was, let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a major investment, obviously, for Buc-ee's, but continuing on beyond this, typically when an operation like this takes hold, other businesses say, I'd kind of like to be in this location too. So it could spur other economic development as well.
There's plenty of room there.
There is,
There is.
there is,
Plenty of room.
Site that's been ripe for optimization for
Yes.
many, many years.
yeah.
I'd like to comment on that is Frank Sawyer, who is state representative, thinking 40-some years ago. I think this, you gotta get, he pushed to get this intersection opened up to create business. And Frank was a good man that got it done. Was a Democrat,
He was at that.
but
He was a good Democrat.
he was.
Are you saying they're not now then, Ms. Fletch?
No, I'm not.
I thought I was gonna get him on.
I did visit,
Issues and.
I was gonna send that to some of your friends.
I did visit one in Georgia on the way to see my son, and it's impressive. There's 126 pumps plus the diesel, plus the electric hookups. And my wife got in there and she shopped. I got a Buc-ee's bag in the back of my van right now.
Wow, yeah.
I'm not a shopper, so I obviously went to the food part and spent my time there.
Any
A
beef?
lot of people don't realize it's really not a commercial for truckers. It's for
Correct. It's not a truck stop, but
a truck stop.
yep, but a travel stop. So they're catering to, RVs, to cars. Obviously trucks will deliver there and periodically stop, but it's not meant to be a truck stop in the way of some of the other travel centers. So I think that's a unique thing. There are other options for trucks in Richland County, just on, 97 at 13, and up into Ashland County. So I think there's good options for the semis to have that. It'll be easier on the roads to not have so much truck traffic going in there as well.
And you mentioned they post wages,
Yes,
and those wages are darn good wages.
they are darn good wages. Yes.
I just heard someone say that starting jobs at factories, these were better than some of the starting jobs at factories in Richland County.
I would say an opportunity like this, the types of numbers that they're talking, really typically reflects more of a manufacturing expansion, not
100
a commercial expansion. Yeah, 200 full-time.
full-time,
So,
beyond the construction.
right. Yeah, that's not construction. Those are just the ongoing. So it's really that's it. It's just a unique proposition that they bring to a community. And so obviously when they reached out, we were very excited and, have really worked with them to bring it all together. Now there's, obviously steps that we need to go through today and the annexation zoning. And then we'll have a development agreement eventually between the city and Buc-ee's. And that will outline the specifics, what they're going to do, what we're going to provide as the city. And so I would expect that to be coming in April. We've got I would say the basics of the deal worked out, but lawyers are kind of tightening up some wording and all of that stuff. So
I've been saying for a long time that Richland County is the place to be, and this is one more example. I think part of that reason is because of the leaders that we have in place. We have the city, the county, the townships, as well as the business, all working together as a unique partnership to make this happen. It doesn't happen easily. It's a lot of hours by a lot of people, and look what we have to show for it. It's going to be exciting.
yeah, it is. It's super exciting.
Along with some of the other growth that we're seeing, obviously downtown.
There's growth everywhere. I mean, through the whole county. I mean, I know when you have the chamber come, there's stuff in Belleville, there's things in Lexington and Ontario and Madison and Shelby. So it's a unique moment for us that I think we're all trying to make sure that we capitalize on. And, hopefully someday someone is looking back like you did with Frank Sawyer and saying, his vision drove this. Hopefully someone looks back and says, the vision of the leaders of this time really helped the community as well.
They said Richland County is the place to be. And the chamber is a component of that as well.
Chamber was a huge component of it as well. I mean, it really was a team effort. County, city, chamber. We've all been at the table, the townships. So yeah, you don't land something like this on your own for sure.
So this annexation is not something that we approve as commissioners, but really just recognize the filing.
we would do that after the townships and city presumably consents. We know we had one last night. Fletch, you guys are
Yeah,
on.
Mifflin, I was at Mifflin's and they consented to, they passed the resolution.
Yeah, so the process would be, Greg,
Mhm.
presuming that we get the three consents from political subdivisions or whatever you want to call them, then under the Ohio Revised Code, we have to schedule a meeting for approval. Once there's an approval, then there has to be a 60-day time period or waiting period, so to speak. And then the city would presumably annex it. We're not, the city's legal. Andrew and I looked at it. We don't believe they can pass it as an emergency. So it would become effective 30 days after council would approve it. So it'd go for three consents, then to us, a waiting period, city would approve. Now, the city has some additional things like a declaration of service, land use planning that's required under the code, but there are some timelines associated with the annexation process.
So today it'd really just be a motion to enter the petition upon the journal.
Yeah, this wouldn't be an approval of the annexation. This would just be to enter it on our journal, which is required under the Ohio Revised Code, not to get too nerdy.
Greg, do you have any questions for Jody?
I was gonna ask Mr. Fletcher here. Let me get my camera swung this way. So they mentioned Mr. Sawyer putting in this interchange and we were trying to guess as to when that went in, 70s, 80s. What does it mean to Madison Township to have that gateway opened to your township?
As, I guess, traffic, I don't know, our infrastructure is not near what the city is. Cities is, or the counties. So it just traffic, people coming here or there, they might be staying in Airbnb that's in Madison Township or there's not a whole lot that we can offer Buc-ee's, but with the traffic, it's always good. More traffic means more business.
And I guess Jody, just like if you glance at the wall to the side of you here, you mentioned all the places. I mean, it really is, a gateway even to like Mohican. I mean, there's so many, we have all the major things. Is Buc-ee's, I guess, for them to even be interested in that location, what are they, what are they saying to you as being, we want to plop it right here in Mansfield?
They came to us, so they had looked at the location already. I think the fact that they would be the first development there has to be, I mean, if you think about 71 and driving along there, I can hardly think of another exit that doesn't really have development. Maybe there's one by West Salem, but there's not a northbound reentry there. So I think it really gives them some opportunity, and that seems to be what they like to look for is, a fresh area that they can really make an imprint on. One of the things I do think is very cool, if you visit their stores, they have a wall that has local, they will let Destination Mansfield come in and put information up about the local area. So I absolutely think, things like the Reformatory and Kingwood, snow trails, all that, they'll benefit from this as well because they're gonna, literally millions of people will stop at it likely over the course of just a year. So, if we can capture even a small percentage of those coming back and visiting, I think that's huge. And again, we'll become the community that people know as a home of Buc-ee's in Ohio. So, at least on the east side of Ohio. So I just think it puts all of us on a map, in a really positive way.
If Frank Sawyer wasn't involved in this, obviously, did you ever hear back, Gerald, as to when?
No, I texted him, but I haven't.
I mean,
You texted Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so we're talking almost 40 years probably since that interchange. What took so long to get something? Any idea?
Well, there's no sewer and water till now.
And Lydia Reed ran the lines to Sykes Road back when she was out. ago. It's been there for a while. I mean, were there ever any, you guys can remember approaches from developers that didn't work out? Any entries that just didn't pan out? I mean, that's a long time.
So it's a culmination of things. First off, and this isn't speaking in the pejorative, you know, that land was privately owned. I don't know the history with the private ownership, but maybe that owner didn't want to sell, right? So obviously this is the United States of America, and you have an owner who may or may not have wanted to sell. So you have to have a willing partner who wants to sell the land. It appears that that's the case now. You have to have a developer interested in the area. And you have to have the necessary utilities. And I always joke, I try to rarely read social media comments because although sometimes you want it for entertainment. But I saw a post on one of my friends' feeds, so to speak. I'm a very limited participant in social media. It's not my cup of tea. I have it to read. And one of the shots was at the city, and I got a little upset because, well, why does the city have to annex it? And someone goes, oh, it's always for the tax dollars. Well, actually, that's not necessarily the case. Yes, the city will get tax dollars, but if developers want the utilities, it would be city utilities. So you got to be careful and take the comments for a grain of salt. And I think the other piece, and I understand that this is a politician saying this, but I have said, we always say we have a unique location in Ohio. We're located within a short driving distance of a majority of the population, which is true, sort of like Ohio. I've always viewed Richland County as an Ohio within Ohio, right? You can get to 60% of the United States population from the state of Ohio. You can get to so much of Ohio's population from Mansfield. I also don't think we did a good job capitalizing on our location. And I think that has changed. And I'm not saying we're any great shakes, but I think it's a culmination of the partnership between the townships, city, the county. If you look right now, right, we've seen even more retail growth in Ontario along Route 30, from Culver's to Cane's to Chick-fil-A. I would only imagine there's going to be more. There's been development out there. We see development at the Hanley Road, Possum Run. There's expected development, and there is development out there with more to come. We've seen the announcement of additional development on 97 and the Lexington Belleville exit. I said Lexington first to tick off Daryl, right? So, right, see, look, so, and now you're seeing the 39 and 71, and I think it's a sign that people acknowledge the growth in Richland County, and it's a place that is friendly to do business in a good way that's beneficial to all. It's not rolling over for business. It's working with business in a way that's beneficial to businesses who want to come here and beneficial for the people of Richland County. And Jody said this yesterday. Whenever these deals come about, everyone, you get around a campfire and you sing songs, but Buc-ee's has been really wonderful to work with. And their spokesperson, she doesn't want her name out there yet, but it will in time. She has been excellent to work with. And there has been, knock on wood, no hiccups. We worked through some additional pieces that'll come out that we had to figure out. But I mean, for an economic development project of this size to come about in this short a time, I mean, I think Buc-ee's approached the city in May of last year, give or take. I know she said summer, and then the city approached us in June. In less than 1 year, and it's not a done deal, right? Buc-ee's in their statement. This doesn't mean it's a done deal. This is a very huge step. Pieces are moving forward. It won't be a done deal until a development agreement between the city and Buc-ee's is complete. The annexation's complete, and obviously Buc-ee's has to acquire the land, and that's between them and the private landowner. So that has nothing to do with us. We believe it's trending in that direction, but there's some additional pieces. So I just think the timing is right between all the parties involved in Richland County, and we're capitalizing on our geography.
Carl, you're right. It's been a long time coming, but I think we'll find it's well worth waiting for.
It'd be interesting. Mr. Ross passed away a few years ago. This agricultural land has been owned by the Ross family for decades. And I believe it was Mr. Ross that passed away in recent years. And it's been tied up in the estate. But it'd be interesting to maybe talk to the family at some point. I know Attorney Joe Kearns was the attorney for the estate. Practice.
And from your standpoint in Madison, have you had obviously you've had conversations with who want to talk to the other two? First of all, are you guys gonna be voting on this Monday?
Monday night, yeah, it's on our agenda, yeah.
What's been, you had to put a wager on whether or not you guys approve this?
Well, never a sure thing, but I would wager that we would definitely accept it. We're always, you ask me about how it would benefit Madison Township as far as the Buc-ee's is down at 71 and 39. It's like Jody said, we'll benefit basically through a trickle down effect. What's good for the county, what's good for the city. And I'm sure our board, the board is in favor of progress. I mean, it would crush me if we have a great board, so.
From an annexation standpoint, if Buc-ee's came to you guys and said, we want to do this, is there any way Madison Township on its own could supply the water and sewer that Buc-ee's would?
No, for one, we don't have sewer. We have county sewer out there. In my neighborhood, in Madison Township's all county sewer. So, and the answer is, I'm gonna say no. It's tough for Madison Water to supply the people that they need to now. I think actually the city helps us out right there on Ashland Road around Kroger's and that area. Yeah, Kroger's and the Stewart Road, Ashland Road intersection, the city. I don't know how it works, but I
Long before either of us.
your hydrants are there. So.
Yeah.
And we've got growth coming out there too with Sheets on Ashland Road.
And Sheets is moving, right? Sheets is moving in on that corner.
Oh.
Yeah,
Again, off the highway,
Yep.
yeah.
off ours.
I assume, and Jody, Tony, you guys can speak to this either one. I assume when there's this development agreement that at some point, I'm sure Buc-ee's has mentioned it, a property tax abatement of some sort. This development probably doesn't happen without some sort of that agreement, does it?
We are talking about incentives. It may not take the usual form, is what I'll say. That is the piece that is still getting worked out. There's some different kind of incentives that we can put on the table for a deal of this magnitude, a little different. So we're trying to do it in a way that preserves the income that the township, the schools would get from property taxes, but still getting some help because there's some pretty significant, beyond just the water sewer, there's obviously road upgrades happening. So there's significant public infrastructure there. And again, Buc-ee's runs into this everywhere they go. So they've been really good to work with that, with on that. So more to come on those specifics when the agreement is settled, but I would say it's going to take a little different form this time.
And they were pretty mindful of not harming the schools conversations. And we're trying to give you answers while not speaking in definite terms. But I think the incentives the mayor references will be done in a manner that keep in mind our schools and our community. And that was important to Buc-ee's as well. So I think the mayor's saying both sides are getting creative in a way where it won't hurt Richland County schools in the community. So could be a use of the Port Authority. It's why we did what we did. Also, you talk about economic development, Port Authority, that isn't final either. So I'm speaking in generalities. But we're trying to be creative because Jody's right. There are some when you bring in a large travel center, there's going to need to be some road upgrades out there. So that gets somewhat costly, and we're working with them on doing it in a manner that's beneficial to all.
Now, ODOT would be updating or improving the interchange itself? No?
ODOT approves it, but Buc-ee's will be doing the upgrades. So
Now, from a marketing standpoint, Lee Tassett will probably like this. This is a company that just this side of Columbus or just this side of Cleveland, they'll put up a sign that says Bucky's, Mansfield, 40 miles, next Bucky's. I mean, that has to be, the last time there was a sign in Columbus or Cleveland that said something about Mansfield,
Yeah.
other than, hey, there's a prison there.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I mean, it's gonna, if, when you visit a Bucky's, whatever community they're in, it is signed that way. It'll say Mansfield on it. It's, you know, like I said, they'll have the wall of local things. So they really do try to come into a local community and work with them. So, yeah.
It won't be Wall Drug.
It won't be Wall
Their side.
One thing I was just gonna add based on some of the comments I did see, the annexation is the size it is largely because we have to annex 71, which is such an odd thing. But a lot of that acreage is 71.
Right.
The actual acreage that Bucky's is on is like 30 something.
I checked it this morning. It's about 35 and a half.
35, yeah. So I know there was like comments of like hundreds of acres of farmland. No, it's 70 acres of street and 30 acres. of-
Details when the state of Ohio is a contiguous owner, how that, I mean, it's annexed in legal form, right?
Yeah.
That's state of Ohio land. So the mayor is correct. It's not over 100 acres of farmland because the majority of that is the state of Ohio and 71 and the on ramps and off ramps.
Well, since you have to annex 71, can you put a toll booth?
You'd be the first one to complain.
No, I wouldn't.
I think that would slow up traffic getting to the travel center, don't you think?
I
Key is to make sure.
You just want people to come in and buy your brisket and your beaver nuggets and get your gas. I mean, that sales tax is gonna be, I mean, that'll be recognizable, I think, on the county income. The property tax should be, and certainly for us, the income and the water sewer. I mean, these are the kind of things that, you know, ultimately, the more that we can stack and build these and do them in a reasonable, sustainable way, then that is, you know, we're spreading out the tax burden among a larger group of people. And then, you know, we have a lot less of those really difficult conversations that sometimes we do have to have as elected leaders. So, but I think, you know, like you said it yesterday, you know, there's been a lot of good things, certainly in the city recently. You guys have had great announcements. Tony outlined some of the other ones. So it seems like we're at a good moment in Richland County, and I'm going to be thankful for it while it's here.
And I'm very glad to hear people concerned about farmland.
Yeah. Well, we are Richland County, right? And if they're really concerned, I would encourage them to come out to our comprehensive planning process because we are going to have some robust discussions about land usage in that. So
Come at a better time.
that's right. That's the end of my.
Any other comments or questions? Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Ken,
Yes.
good to see you guys. Moving on to our agenda.
Okay.
I'd like to review a request for using the front lawn for a demonstration on March 28th, 2026. A $500 check has been handed out to cover any potential damage or cleanup. And that'll be from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Saturday, March 28th. Need to approve that, Stacy?
Yes.
So Andrew, do we have anything on that? This comes up from time to time, and I know we have a policy now, but is this something we need to revisit? Obviously, it's public land. We want to make sure it stays open for free speech, et cetera. But you get into these situations where someone wants to put up a sign on the courthouse lawn, and curious if we need to revisit the policy to make sure, first off, we got to comply with the laws of this nation and state, but curious as to where we're at.
Be reasonable to revisit it with the office.
Well, I mean, if we have an existing policy now and it's
Yeah.
public land and it's done appropriately, I'll make a motion that we approve.
Make the motion, but just to be clear, the $500 is just a deposit. It will
Correct.
be returned
If there's nothing that has to be, right.
damaged. I'll make second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Banks.
Yes.
Yes.
Last item we have on our agenda is to authorize advertising for mowing services at the wastewater facility. We do this every 3 years. Last one was in 2022 for the 18 sites. Their wastewater operations. So could I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
So Josh and Tammy, anything to add? We're at the end of our agenda. Anything you'd like to say or?
Yeah, well, Bucky definitely took my money this year too. I went to the first one on a road trip and like I says, let's stop, see what it's all about, use the restroom. So $119 later, we come out with stuffed animals, books and a lot of features.
Now, they advertise the cleanest restrooms at any.
There's tons of them. too.
Pristine, the word they.
Tush lights. They're called tush
Yeah,
lights.
the lights on them.
Yeah,
And
tush lights.
yeah, I had to hold my son's hand. He's only 3. I didn't want him to walk in one of them rooms. I'd never find him. No, and no signs. They're like hundreds of miles away.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's always a good thing for the county, but anyways, a few updates for you guys. Tammy's with me today, just kind of hanging out. She handles our large commercial industrial accounts throughout the area, so. I don't remember last month when I was here if I mentioned our House Bill 6 credits that would be getting returned to customers. It's about $22 per month for 1,000 kilowatt hour home user. That'll be for 3 months, so call it about $65 refund coming to customers.
On average, right?
On average, yeah, because it's kilowatt hour based. So, and that, we don't really have a number to factor for like commercial industrial customers, but those should be coming over the next few billing statements. As of March 1st, our 2024 rate case was approved and goes into effect. So most of the, on average, 1,000 kilowatt hour residential home will see about a $2.50 monthly increase. Here in April, mid-April, First Energy will be submitting an application for our new 3-year multi-year rate plan, which was, I think it's House Bill 15 or Senate Bill 15, which requires utilities now to do a 3-year plan looking forward. Previous rates used to be an 8-year plan looking backwards. So it's just a different way that file for our rate case. That would, if approved, would be expected to begin in July of next year, go to 27. So I know that's a lot more information as that comes. Beginning in April here in Richland County, we're starting our smart meter deployment. We're just going to have our line crews out installing some routers and Wi-Fi extenders. And then eventually our Wellington, who will be our contractor installing the meters, will start installing smart meters. Also, that'll include some repairs for customers that repairs before we put the new meter in. That project is expected to take about a year to complete and certify all those meters. What I will be doing is once they notify me of where they'll be deploying smart meters, I'll reach out to those communities, let them know that, hey, we're going to be in the area for this for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks installing meters. Here's a website to share. People are asking questions. Our website's actually, it's one thing I feel like we've done well with our smart meter deployment. We've installed about 1.4 million meters in Ohio already. So we're getting close to the end of this journey. So
Will the power be off? Will you have to shut the power off when you change meter?
yeah, there'll be a momentary disconnect for each meter that we plug in. I mean, it takes as long as it does to plug in something into an outlet and unplug. So you're talking less than a minute. However, the guys do take a picture before they unplug the meter. They plug it in, they take another picture, so like 2 to 3 minutes. They do knock on the door and make an attempt to notify the customer and let them know that, you know, there's going to be a brief outage to change that. Commercial accounts are a little bit different because they can do those hot. So those places typically, most of them will not require an outage. So think of your fast food restaurant style, just because it's a metering. You should be able to do that hot and postage. The smart meters provide obviously opportunity for us to do move in, move outs a little bit quicker with folks. So when people are thinking of apartment complexes where you have a lot of turnover, they don't have to wait throughout the weekend to get turned on or a special day. We can do it pretty much over the air when they make that call in. So there's some improvements there. Like I said, as we get closer to actually meters in the field, I'll let you guys know, and especially those communities. And also because of that rate filing approval, we now are installing LED streetlights as of March 1st. So our trucks are now stocked with LEDs versus the high pressure sodiums. I sent an email out to every community in Richland County on Friday, asking for the preference of color of streetlights. So we offer a 3,000 Kelvin streetlight and a 4,000 Kelvin streetlight. The 3,000 is going to be pretty similar to what's out there in the field today. Our streetlights, most of them now are about 2,700 Kelvin, so that's that orangish color. And a 4,000 is going to be more of a kind of like these lights, a little bit more on the white side. The industry standard says 3K in residential, 4K in non-residential. That's the industry standard across the country. But ultimately, it's up to each municipality to let us know what they want.
Can they mix and match?
Yep, they can do a combination. So if, the city of Mansfield wanted, some of the main roads in a 4K to kind of match maybe what some of the parking lot car dealership lights are, they could do so and then keep the 3K in the residential. So those that had a very aggressive turnaround as of Wednesday this week to tomorrow, if they don't notify us before that, we're just going to default to 3K. So for 2026, it's just replace upon failure. So we're not doing a proactive, it's just, there's a light out, we go in and we're putting an LED up. Later this year, First Energy will put their plan together to do a community by community proactive conversion that's expected to take place over about the next 1 to 4 years. When that becomes available, I'll certainly reach out. That will be done by contractors, but they'll do an entire sweep of the entire county, in this case, and replace every streetlight with an LED streetlight.
And the LEDs are more energy efficient, right?
They are more efficient. They are a little bit more expensive. So what will happen with communities that are under our ESIP program, which is Electric Savings Incentive Plan, that was available back in the late 80s, that's going away. And so Legacy streetlight comes off of that account. It goes on to our standard streetlight rate. Because of that change, First Energy is offering a credit. So each fixture, depending on its wattage, will carry a different size credit, kind of offset that increase in cost. That's just to help the financial burden. Include
The LEDs last longer than the high pressure.
Yeah, especially the high pressures we've been getting. There's not as many vendors making them. They're not lasting nearly like they used to. I mean, we've had batches that are lasting only months. And so the lifespan of an LED is 12 to 15 years. So it's pretty significant.
Going back to the smart meters, have you changed any in Richland County yet?
I don't think have we done any yet?
Yeah,
Have they?
but mostly businesses.
Businesses, yeah.
No residential.
Pardon?
No residential.
No, the businesses are being done internally. So our local crews are doing what we would call 3-phase commercial meters. And then Wellington would be doing all of our residential.
When do you expect those to start in Richland County?
I would say probably within the next few weeks, to be honest.
All right.
I'd say, I shouldn't say it, we're still in March. So sometime in April, mid-April.
I think Ohio Power, which is Belleville's Ohio Power.
Okay.
And I think they did that last year, I'm not positive.
Today.
Okay.
I think that's all I have really, unless you guys have anything for me. I know I kind of rattled off a lot. I will not be here next month.
There's gonna be Tammy?
But in May, maybe I'll have some more updates as far as the timing, maybe some of the locations that we're working with our smart meter.
We appreciate the updates.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. We appreciate the information. It's a lot of stuff, but it's all good stuff. So thank you very much, both of you. Okay, is there any other business to come before the Board of Commissioners at this time? Hearing none, we stand adjourned at 10:19.
On there, I asked.
Yes.